G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So looking at 5 Ultra League battles and the development of my team. So I'm rank 8, just under 2300. I did briefly go above 2300, subsequently lost a couple matches and dropped way back down. So what I'm looking at is, so I've got Muck, Togekiss and Swampert. With the recent change to Giratina, I've dropped that from the team and I've thrown Muck in the lead. So what I'm thinking, because not that many people run fire types, so in terms of Muck, in terms of Swampert, is I don't know, Swampert's an absolute beast, but in terms of its moves, I don't know. So I'm going to put Swampert in the lead. It has a fast charge move, and I do like to burn shields early. So I'm going to throw Swampert in the lead and see how that works out. The other one is swapping that up, but I'm not sure. So we'll see how these 5 go, and then we'll assess from there. So first one up. So I've got Swampert, and they've thrown out Cloyster. So it's an interesting choice, I guess. So to be completely honest, I don't know what Cloyster has. I've not actually versed a Cloyster. So they're not going to shield because it's going to resist. And they seem to be saving up a lot of energy. So what I might do is shield that because I have absolutely no idea what it's going to be. It's an icy wind, so what they're doing is going to icy wind me a bunch of times, and then probably swap out. That's fine. So I'm going to swap into my Muck. Unfortunately, they had time to get the another icy wind off, and I've used 2 shields already, so that's going to drop my health, and they're going to switch out. No, they're not. Okay, fine. So I'm just start getting some putting some pressure on here. So I've used 1 shield, so they're probably going to icy wind me again, and this is really not going well. So this Cloyster's put in some work. So what I should have done from the start, I don't know. Cloyster's a difficult one. So I'm really hoping this takes it out, which it does, thankfully. So maybe I'll be able to switch. So if I can get my Dark Pulse off. So what would have been nice is to swap out. So they're obviously going to shield this one, which is absolutely fine. Oh, they didn't shield. That's interesting. So I fully expected them to shield there. So I'm just trying to think of what they've got. So I'm going to throw out and go straight into a couple of Hydro Cannons. Try and actually get some pressure on this thing. So yeah, obviously they're going to shield for that one. I'll go straight into another one. It's just really got to put some pressure on now. Don't know what that third Pokemon is, but I'm hoping it's not a Steel type. It very well could be. So this is probably going to be a future site. Oh, it's a Moonblast. Interesting choice. And it does manage to... No, it doesn't quite take me out, but it does everything but. So I'm in a bit of trouble here. So the question is, do I fast move farm this down, or do I pull the trigger? So that is an absolute brutal. So it doesn't really matter what I do. So when this throws out its Sludge, well, that's not going to be Sludge Bomb. That's going to be Thunder Punch. Was not expecting that at all. So that's not gone well for me. Absolutely caned. Right. Interesting choice. So the Cloyster in the lead really did a number on me there. I didn't really have an answer for that, to be completely honest, and not expecting it. So maybe I should have switched into the Alolan Muck. Again, it's hard to say. So this one's an interesting lead. So they're going to do some massive damage to me. But if I'm... Oh, so they've swapped into it. So they've done a perfect job there of swapping into my fast move. So they're going to have something that probably resists. So I'm going to have to swap straight out because... Venusaur is absolutely going to tear. Oh, so I'm not going to shield that. I'm going to let that through. So I should be resisting all of the moves. So I think what they'll do is they'll definitely shield this first one, I imagine. Let's see. Yeah, so they've thrown up a shield there, and then I'm going to have a race to see if I can get to the next one. So they're going to frenzy plant me again. I am going to shield this just because I want to keep a little bit of health on this guy. Let's see what they do. So I'm going to throw the sludge bomb, sludge wave out, so we'll see. So I'm hoping they think I'm baiting again, and they're going to let this one through, and they did, so that's really worked out well for me. Does huge amounts of damage. Let's see what they've got next. So I'm going to swap out because I want to keep... So this is going to be probably the steel type move. I'm still going to, yeah, so Meteor Mash, which is fine. So they've swapped out again. What have they got? So I'm going to, so that's interesting. So what I should have done there is swap straight out into my Togekiss, but I can't, so that probably explains why. I'm going to get another one off. So let's hope they shield this. They may or may not. I'm certainly hoping, well, I was hoping for a shield, to be honest. So lucky I pulled the trigger there because they're going to knock me out with this one. So a little bit of extra chip damage there is always nice. Very good. So that is not what I wanted at all. So I wanted to throw out Togekiss, obviously. That's going to be your better choice here. So I managed to swap out into Togekiss, which is happy days. So that'll burn, so that's not going to do too much damage, and I'll be able to knock that out. Unfortunately, they have got this, so that would have been perfect to be able to switch in. Let's see who gets there first. I'm hoping I do. And of course I did not. So that's really unfortunate for me. So let's see what happens here. So I'm going to have to, yeah, so because I switched into Alolan Muck instead of my Togekiss, that lost me the game. So that's what happens when you're pressing you're mashing buttons. So good game there. Would have got the win there had I yeah, been a little bit more hadn't made that massive swap in mistake and got me stuck. So what I'm going to do here is try and catch. So they've, so this is going to be an Ice Punch, always going to be. It was too late in between, and they're going to swap out, and I'll swap into something that I'm weak to. Oh, that's interesting. So I should be able to get to my Ancient Power if I can get this off. So they're obviously going to shield this one because it's going to do a lot of damage. That's fine. So what to switch into? So I know that the attack incoming. So this has got to be aerial. I don't know. That seems awfully fast. Yeah, it's an aerial ace. So I was thinking that's a little bit too fast to get that charge move off to be the Ancient Power. Makes sense because Ancient Power's been nerfed massively now. So now they're probably going to bring out the... Ooh, so Giratina, that's an interesting choice. So I'm going to Earthquake here and try and save up enough energy to Earthquake again. So they're doing a whole lot of damage. So what have I got? One shield left, so I'm going to actually let this go. Let's see what they do. So if I've got enough saved up for... So I'm going to swap into Muck, do some damage. I fully expect them to swap out, which they do. So swap in, so this should be the fighting type move, I would imagine. No, it's an Ice Punch, so it's a good bait there. So the only thing I'm going to do is hope that they do not shield this, because they might be thinking it's a... oh, so they have shielded, so that's a good shield on their part. So now it's a race, and obviously they're going to get there first. I'm just hoping this doesn't do quite enough damage to take me out. But even if it doesn't, yeah, so Dynamic Punch is going to get me close to range. And I'm just wanting to get that Sludge Wave off, which I have managed to do. So I'm hoping that KOs. So it would have been really nice to use the... oh, so that didn't actually KO. That's interesting. So I expect this to come in, and if I can get this off, come on. Oh, and that's really disappointing. So it's come straight out into... Oh, so that's game over. So those last two games, so close. So just trying to think of what I've done. Well, I know what I did wrong in the second game. And that third game was... Yeah, so had I not used the Sludge Wave, I could have got my... so I had baited with a Dark Pulse instead of going straight for two Sludge Waves. That would have got me the game there. So, interesting one here. So they've got the Alolan Muck out in the lead. So they've straight up switched, so I need to do the same. So I was a bit slow there on the switch, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to let this go because I resist all of the moves, and they're going to Frenzy Plant me. So I can handle a few of those. So I'm going to do a couple extras, and then so that's interesting. So I'm going to shield that. I know it's a Frenzy Plant, and it's probably a waste of a shield, but I do want to keep a bit of health on this. So I'm hoping that they use a shield as well. And they do. Happy days. So then I can now hopefully get to my next one before they do, and I've managed to do that. So they'll probably shield here as well, but I usually find the double shield here they don't go for. So it's happened again, which is happy days. So what I'm going to do is not shield for this one. Let the Frenzy Plant come through. Try and fast move it down. Oh, so you switch straight out. So the question is, I'm going to switch there. I'm really, really hoping that they've gone for the Dynamic Punch and not the Ice Punch. Yeah, it's an Ice Punch. That's unfortunate. So it's done a bit more damage to my... Togekiss. They're going to go for another Ice Punch here, so I will shield that. Unfortunate that they went for that first one. I really would have liked that to be a Dynamic Punch, because it would have obviously done a lot less damage. They're probably going to get to another one, which they do, which is really annoying. We'll see what comes out next. So they've obviously got a Venusaur waiting in the back. See what's next. So I'm going to let's see what comes out. So let's see if they shield this. I can't imagine they will. So they haven't, which is happy days for me. So I'll be resisting there fast move, but they are farming me down. Hopefully I can take it out, which I do. So I know what they've got in the back. So what I might do is quickly go for a... So they are going to shield this. They have to shield. So this is unfortunate though, because it means... And I'm going to try and get my Hydro Cannon off as well, which I have done. So they probably would have launched straight into their Frenzy Plant there and would have one-shotted the Swampert, but lucky there with that one. So a bit of switching there at the end, and storing up a bit of energy is the way to go. So it's my first win of the set, and to be honest with you, it was a bit of a pain, and had to work through it, and a bit of switching at the end, and get a bit lucky there with winning the race to get my Hydro Cannon off versus the Frenzy Plant. So a bit lucky there. So we'll see what comes out. So it's a Scizor. So that's probably a pretty good lead for me. So I'd imagine they would swap out, which they're not. So that's an interesting call. So I expect this to be the Night Slash. So it shouldn't do a huge amount of damage. Yeah, so it's not done a huge amount of damage. I expect them. Yeah, there you go. They're out. So what I'm going to do is switch straight in, keep that energy, not shield this. Hopefully it's not... Well, they can't have had enough for an Ancient Power, so it is the Dragon Claw, which is fine. So now I go to farming. So they're saving up a bit more. So this next one is probably going to be the Ancient Power. To be completely honest, I don't mind. The job of my Togekiss... Oh, it's a Shadow Sneak, so that's fine as well. The job of my Togekiss is to take out the Giratina. They did exactly that, so job done. Let's see what comes out. So I'm going to go for the Flame. I don't know what it actually is. So it was their Scizor, so I saw their tiny little bit of health taken off, so I'm hoping they don't shield because they think it's the... No, so they have shielded correctly there. So that's a good shield on their part. So they've got... Oh, they're absolutely smashing me down. So the question is, so I'm going to go for... And they've gone straight for... So I'm going to shield that. I've got a couple of shields. So they have Night Slash, so good bait there. So I'm hoping they do not shield this. I'm hoping they think it's just a Hydro Cannon and can save something in the back. So they have shields, so that's a real good shield on their part. So I'm hoping I can get to one before they do. Let's see if I can. So I'm going to shield again. I'm going to commit my second shield. It'll be interesting what they have in the back, because I would suggest it's something weak. Oh, so that's worked out real well for them. So I've swapped in. Oh, and I should have just let that go. I should have let it go, but I didn't. What am I thinking? So I'm going to get my Sludge Wave off, which is fine. They have got running Night Slash, so I should be okay. I can't think of what its other move will be. So it's going to be super effective. Take it out, and then I'll be able to hopefully charge up. And I'm hoping they don't have... Let's see what they've got. I'm hoping for a Night Slash. So you can hear me tapping away. So Night Slash, yeah, not very effective. So attack sharply rose. So that's good for them, obviously. It should be too little too late. It is. That charge move takes them down. So there's the last two in that done. So that last one was pretty comfortable. First three didn't go so well. That last one, last one was a fairly comfortable win. Second to last was hard fought. So managed to get the two. Awful start to that set of three. I don't know what to sort of say about Swampert there. So Swampert is a beast. Like, I do really like it. Gets its fast moves off really quickly, but not many people running fire types, so I'm not sure how useful it is. It's good against the steels, so for the steel type for sizzle there. So had I landed the Earthquake, would have been super effective and KO'd it. That does huge amounts of damage. So hard to say. I think I'll run with it a couple more times, see how it goes, and make a decision from there. I'm thinking of bringing back a fire type in. At the moment, my team's fairly cheap in terms of getting second moves to them. If I brought in a fire type, it'd probably be I'd probably go. Well, I don't know whether to bring in a fire or steel, to be honest. So that's a decision I'll have to make. So that's the set of 3 battles. So as you can see, pretty strong team. Came up to some opposition that did really well. That second and third game, very frustrating for me. They would have been really happy on their end. Some real good switches, timing that really well. So well done to them. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.